93 ABC, and I'm talking with Jess Stone. So let's talk about your new album, Never Forget My Love. So you recorded it with Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics. Can you walk us through the process from writing to recording it?
Yeah, so, well, it all happened, I suppose, quite quickly. Dave had asked me to come to his place in the Bahamas. So he lives in between a little, like, tiny little hidden island in the Bahamas and Nashville. And we had a project that was ongoing. We were writing for a play called Time Traveler's Wife that will hopefully come out soon. That was an interesting writing session because we're writing about time travel. So, quite different to the album. And he said, come over. Of course, all the pandemic was kicking off. So we were like, we can't travel, Dave. No one's allowed to travel. And he goes, yes, you can. Just don't worry about it. You can travel. So we looked into it and actually we could. And when we arrived, they actually locked down 2 days afterwards. So it was like meant to be. And we spent like a month there writing for this play. And I don't know, I was just talking to him about, the dreams that I had for different types of music I wanted to make. And I said, I would love so much to make a record that's like really classy and well composed and like very deliberate in the way that it's written. Really like Burt Bacharach's music. That's how I wanted it to feel, like the Dionne Warwick, like the Dusty Springfield kind of, you don't have to say you love me vibe, really just beautiful. Because I've never made a record like that. I've made lots of different music and lots of different styles, and all of it's been very almost like free flowing. It's super soulful, but to kind of make things up and ad lib, to do that is a really welcomed thing on the music I make. But this, I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be like, let's write the song, let's create the orchestral gorgeousness, and let's be posh. I want to be posh. And he said, well, let's do it. And he picked up a guitar and he started to do it. And then we wrote like 10 songs in like 5 days, not even. And I ended up flying to Nashville when he got there about 2 months later. And we just recorded it with the same band I used with on LP1, which was an album 10 years prior. So we all knew each other. It was like a reunion. And it was quite funny, really, because we're all sat in the same seats, 10 years later, looking at each other like, wow, you look good, It was great. And I, at that point, was 7 months pregnant. So I was thinking, oh my gosh, I need to record this record and then I need to find somewhere to live. Because we were very nomadic, Cody and I. And we recorded it. I sang with the band live, as I normally do. We ended up finding a place here in Nashville to stay for the time being, have the baby and everything. So we did all that. That was like a blessing, amazing thing to happen. And then when we came to mixing it and listening back, my vocals had been recorded completely distorted.
Oh, wow.
It was so upsetting. I was like,
I can imagine.
Oh my God. Because I tell you what, obviously when you sing a whole record, you give everything you have. And it's live, right? So we're playing together and it's like we're feeling each other. But I was heavily pregnant. So my voice was like, maybe not as strong, your lungs are being pushed into different parts of you. So my instrument was like different, but it was fine. And then I listened to it, I was like, oh my God, these recordings are not usable. And I had Violet at this time and my lungs had gone back to normal. And I thought, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. So I went to Devon to show off my baby to my family. Like, I just did the rounds, when you have a baby, you got to do the rounds. So I have a studio in Devon that's beautiful and has been like the walls have been tuned and everything. It's like a really lovely space that I don't often get to use. And my friend Chris, he's actually my sound engineer on the road. He lived half an hour away, and I said, do you mind coming to re-record all these vocals with me? And we did, and we had the loveliest time because there was no pressure. It was at my house, my baby was there, you know. Chris is one of my best friends, so we just kind of took our time with it. And I really got to know the songs more, because, you know, when you've just written a song and you're coming up with new ideas and new lyrics, I mean, when we recorded it in Nashville, I was like writing new words, you know, constantly like changing things. And at this point I really knew it, and it was almost like there was some divine intervention saying, Joss, remember, you didn't want to jam on this one. You wanted it to be more deliberate and more focused and more kind of considered. And that is exactly what it turned out to be. And now I honestly feel like really proud of the record. I feel like it's the most classy record I've ever had the pleasure of being part of. So that is a nice feeling. I'm really glad that it happened.
Yeah, I can kind of hear like there's definitely some 70s influences in there, and it just has like a timeless feel to it.
Oh, that's good.
Like it, because when I was listening to him, like I couldn't put my finger on what it kind of sounded like to me. I like, maybe it was like some Motown 70s, and it just has like that Laurel Canyon feel to it. So
that's so lovely you say that it has a timeless sound to it, because that's honestly, that's all we ever aim for. You know, yeah. The idea that somebody might listen to a record that I've made 100 years from now and still think it's good. That's good. That's like we've achieved something there, you know. Yeah,
for sure. Well, what would you say your influences were when you were writing the album?
It was definitely the Burt Bacharach style, everything that he's written, really, and certainly out of all the stuff he's made, the Dusty Springfield thing, that to me is like kind of what shaped my love for that style of music, is Dusty. And I named my dog Dusty Springfield. I love her very much. So the drama, you know, that comes with that. And then there's the Dionne Warwick like Walk On By thing that's very relaxed, but it's just very classy. Everything about it's very classy. Those songs stick in my head. Say a Little Prayer, you know, Aretha Franklin, she did, I think, the best version of that. But there's been other versions that are just as beautiful. And so I was invited to sing with Bert in London a few years ago, and I had to sing these songs, and I was like, these songs are so special. They are not just made up pieces of nothing. These are deliberate, beautiful, composed, classy, emotional. The lyrics are lovely. I know Bert didn't do the lyrics, David did, but still, I mean, that team was just such a lovely team. And and I'm singing it and I'm thinking, oh my God, my heart. It's like feeling like it's going to burst on some of these songs, you know, and I wish I could do something like that. You know, I wish I could create something like that. It's lovely enough to be able to sing it and give it the most love you can as somebody that is an instrumentalist, I suppose. I mean, I'm a singer, I'm a musician, right? But I don't play a bloody instrument, but my voice is my instrument. So to be able to interpret that and give it what it deserves fills you up. It makes you feel like, oh, I'm in the moment, you know? Yeah. But to be able to create something like that was what I would dream to do. And that's when I'm making the song like I Love You to the Very End. I'm thinking like, that's what I want people to feel. I want the goosebumps. And I got the goosebumps when I made that one. And breaking each other's hearts, it's like, you know, that's what I wanted. And I think, honestly, without Dave, I wouldn't have been able to, I didn't know where to start. And I tried, I'd written songs before with other writers that are lovely, but it wasn't that. It wasn't what I was talking about. And with Dave, he totally understood what I was saying. he totally hit the mark. And I thought, yeah, this is what I'm talking about, you know.